and today we're going to talk about what are the differences between a Road King Police and a Road King normal model. You can see we've got my 2016 on a 2017 plate Road King Police here behind me. This is a UK spec bike with a 5HD serial number rather than a 1HD for America. So what I'll do is I'll talk through the differences and I'll sort of video them as well, and so you can see both. I've had to write them down on some paper because I can't remember all of them. So let's start with the very beginning when you first get the bike. The manual. The manual's different. You get a Road King Police manual with a nifty little drawing on the front. I'll put it up in the screen somewhere. And also in that manual, in that owner's pack, you get a set of stickers. There's fire, trooper, police, emergency or rescue. And you can stick those on here on the pannier, or they can go down here. There's a number of places that they can go. So it comes with a sticker set as well. They're quite expensive if you try and buy those stickers separately from Harley. The next thing you get as default on one of these is the crash bars, front and rear. That's standard equipment. You also get the police switches, which are two red switches either side. I'll zoom in on those. So you have a siren, which has like a wail and a kind of a tone. And then you have the flashing lights at the front, and they can either pulse left and right, or I think they can both come on. There's different settings for those. Also, when we're talking about lights, they have a stealth mode, which means you can turn all the lights out. That's turned off by default. I think that's a dealer turn on option actually, stealth mode. Also, because of the police model, you can make the lights stay on all the time, even if everything's turned off. And you hold down the switch on the right handlebar on the top, the one that lets you scroll through the functions to turn that on and off. And when I first got the bike and I picked it up from Sykes Harley-Davidson, I couldn't turn the lights off, and I had to phone up the dealer and say, how do you turn them off? And he said, oh, hold down that button and it will turn them off. So that was that. You've also got a mic jack, which would link into the PA system if you have it fitted. My bike doesn't have the speaker and the amplifier. I'll show where they should be. And also the mic works with the press to talk button. The press to talk will allow you to talk through the amplifier. Some of them have flat mirrors and not concave mirrors or convex. I can't remember which it is, but on a car or a bike you very often have a mirror with a slight bend on it to give you a bigger view. I'm assuming it's convex rather than concave, so that would make sense. But many of the police bikes have a flat mirror. Now mine, I don't think has a flat mirror because it has the warning about objects being closer than they are. The other thing, of course, which is very obvious to spot, is the single seat and damper. So the police bikes all come with this single seat, and there's an adjustable damper at the back. The damper comes from the factory set for a 90 kilogram rider, and you can adjust it, but you need a special tool. I'm a bit lighter than 90 kilograms, so I'm tempted to adjust mine a little bit. So many Harley bikes from the touring range have air suspension. This one also has air suspension, and in your manual there's some specific settings for if you have all your police gear in it, or if it's just the officer. So they give you some guidance around where it should be, and it's 0 out the factory, 0 PSI, no air in it is the default out the factory. Something else that this bike has, and I think this is now common across the Harley range, is the EITMS mode. And that means in a very hot place, let's say you're in somewhere hot in America, Death Valley for example, what the bike will do is it will shut down the rear cylinder and stop injecting petrol into it, and it will pump air through it to cool it down. I know this is insane, but this is genuinely what it will do. It will run on one cylinder, and the rear cylinder will act as an air pump. Google it, EITMS. But I think that's now on many of the bikes, not just the police bikes. Specific for the police bikes, obviously you have an oil cooler, which kind of links to the last thing. It means that, you know, the police bikes are going to be in a lot of use, so just to keep that all important cooling oil down. So when these bikes are supplied to the public, it's generally, for most places, including the UK, not legal to have flashing lights. So the flasher is supplied in the pannier. They take it out and it doesn't come with a flasher, it's in the pannier. Mine, the flasher's missing, and the lights on mine have never flashed. else have we got? Paint scheme. So the earlier police bikes came in a number of different colours. There was white, there was black, and then they started going for this harmonised paint scheme. And the harmonised paint scheme is still current. So even my twin cam has the harmonised scheme. And if you buy so we're in 2021 now, if you buy a 2021 Milwaukee 8 police bike, it will still have this harmonised paint scheme. I'll cover that. The charging system on the police bikes is 50 amp and not 30, and allegedly the wiring is stronger. I'm also told that there's bead retention tyres, which are very similar to run flats, but they're crucially not run flats. You don't really have run flats on a motorcycle as such. So the idea is that if the tyre goes flat, you can run and the bead won't come off the tyre. Now, I don't believe my UK bike has these bead retention tyres, but it may have. Something else you can get for the police bikes is a optional tour pack. So the police bikes all come with a rack on the back, which I've removed to have the smooth look. And on that rack can be fitted a tour pack. It's not as big as the standard Harley tour pack. And it's about, I think, £1,000 for that option. So it's quite an expensive option. Heat shields. So the police bikes all have plastic heat shields near the top of your leg. I'm not sure if they make much difference or not. Last but not least is to talk about the lights it comes with. So it comes with one red and two blue, and these would fit in the front passing lights. And look what I've just found in the box. I didn't know this was in here. I've just found the flasher. So I could reinstate that if I wanted to. Fantastic. And also there's two rear stop lights, police blue flashers, and they attach to the rack thing on the back. So yeah, that's probably the coolest bit that I forgot about. I'm so pleased I found the flasher. Yeah. And the final one is the air filter and scripting. So you'll notice on the bike there's a number of different places where there's sort of police scripting. This later bike, this is the very last of the twin cams, it does not have Road King Police or Police Edition in the Speedo or in the rev counter. And that's also worth mentioning that although a lot of Harleys now have a rev counter, the police bikes all come with a rev counter as standard. So there we go, those are the main differences. And the quickest way to find out if you're wrong about something or if there's something you missed is to put it on YouTube. So I'm sure somebody's now going to tell me that some of those facts are incorrect, or some of those 18 things are not the things, or there's different things that I've missed. So if you know any more about the police bikes, please feel free to comment below, and I can always edit the video to add that or put it in the comments. Thank you very much. So this is my new Harley-Davidson Road King Police. 1.67 litre motor, 103 cubic inches. This is the model that the police force, fire and rescue in the US buy. It's got a number of differences from a normal bike, including some of the sort of high output police stuff, sort of police badging. Like all bikes at this age, it's a 6-speed. It also has the dual colours there, and it has room on the tank to put the San Francisco Police Department or whatever, and a white stripe down the front. I'm probably just going to stick a Harley-Davidson badge across there. There we go. It's a 2016 bike, registered in 2017. It's done just over 1,000 miles. It's practically brand new. It rides like it's absolutely brand new. Yeah, I've just given it a clean because I rode it home in the rain. Also, the police bikes have a single saddle. So this has got a single saddle, and I've just removed the back box just so it's got this sort of smooth saddle. And on the police bikes, there's like a shock absorber on the back of the saddle to make it more comfortable. I need to loosen that up a bit because it's meant for a fatter person than me.